measure, as long as it's appropriate to ensure we can defend ourselves. Well, I don't want to get into any details as to the discussion we may have today, but I'm here to defend the interests of Quebecers. And what I'm saying now is that if a 25% tariff is applied to all Quebec products exported to the U.S., this would have a very serious impact on the Quebec economy, and we are prepared to take retaliatory measures, and there are various scenarios. What do you think of the federal leadership on this issue? Well, of course, we are now in quite a difficult political situation with the resignation of Mr. Trudeau. So I think it's really important that the premiers, the provinces and territories, the Prime Minister of Canada, his team, the federal government, and all of us work together. And the first choice would be that there be no tariffs. And in order to make sure everyone agrees on that, we have to work together.
I think that the first choice, and it's true for Alberta, for Ontario, for Quebec, for everybody, is to have no tariffs. It should be the top priority. Then, if next week or whenever there are some tariffs that are put in place, then we have to prepare a retaliation plan. We may have many scenarios. We'll discuss that today. And of course, I don't think we should do that on the public place. It should be internal. Merci tout le monde. Merci.
Okay, we were listening there to Quebec Premier François Legault as he was speaking ahead of course, the meeting involving Canada's premiers with Canada's Prime Minister. And so he is one of a number of premiers who stepped up to that mic to take questions from reporters and to discuss what their priorities will be as they head into this meeting. Of note, of course, is that Quebec's premier had put an op-ed in a U.S. publication ahead of today's meeting. We'll get into that in a moment. First, we want to go to Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe as he's speaking now.
But does he need to know he's putting Canadian energy access at risk?
Well, I would say that we, not only Americans, but North Americans need to have access not only to our oil and gas products, but all of our energy products. If we are truly going to continue to build what we aspire to build as individuals, whether we live south of the 49th parallel or north of the 49th parallel, but we need to ensure that we are not having this tariff conversation for any length of a period of time so that we can build towards that continental manufacturing security, that continental energy security, and that continental food security. We have done I would say, a good job on the food security side to the point that we take it for granted. At times, we have had, I would say, unnecessary conversations about the path pipelines, whether they be to Tidewater or whether they be to our U.S. partners and our allies in the U.S. In years gone by. And so we maybe haven't done as good a job at working on that integrated economy and that integrated opportunity that we have to provide energy security to all North Americans. And I'm talking about continental energy security, not U.S. or not Canadian exclusively. And the same with respect to manufacturing security and providing the goods that we need as individuals and as communities. All of these industries and many more around the world. We're having a conversation about increasing them and increasing this conversation into more of a broad-based tariff is not good for Canada. Canada does not do well in that environment. I would say North Americans will not do well. All Americans and Canadians are going to pay more for everything that we ultimately purchase. So that's the first reason why we should not be considering export tariffs or taxing things that Canadians are producing. The second is that it just isn't going to be conducive to have somewhat similar taxation systems across the nation, and no one is opposed to being a Canadian first. However, I don't think anyone's opposed to looking at doing a review of a program over time to ensure that it's fair to all Canadians, those that are contributing and those that may be receiving.
Premier Donald Trump said they don't, the U.S. does not need anything. But in Saskatchewan, uranium, for example, is incredibly important for American energy production. Have you or your officials gone through to Donald Trump or tried to get through to him?
Yeah, I've said this a number of times is, with not every opportunity do you have to take precisely what he says literally. We are in the midst and likely going to be in the midst of, for a period of time, of various negotiations with our largest ally and our largest trading partner. So when President-elect Trump, makes statements like that, I'm not going to comment on them. What I would comment on is I know that from my perspective, and quite likely what's fact, is the economy across the 49th parallel, our North American economy is incredibly integrated. You see that in Ontario and Quebec in the manufacturing sector. We see that and have very much engaged with our U.S. counterparts, most recently when the steel tariffs were on how many times a piece of steel actually crosses the border back and forth until it ultimately is made into a piece of pipe Cushing's, Oklahoma, because we're not building enough pipelines in this nation, or it ends up in car parts or ag equipment parts or mining parts. So it is absolutely an integrated economy, and to say that that we don't need to work with the Americans to add value to the products that we're purchasing and actually selling and providing to the world is an incorrect statement. And I would say the same is true for products that flow from the south to the north. It's an integrated economy. It's a great strength, and we need to work together as Canada's 13 premiers and our current outgoing Prime Minister and whoever will be coming in. And I commit to working with both in the best interest of Canadians on this entire discussion. Over time, so we're in that for the entirety of it. Thank you.
Okay, so we were listening there to Saskatchewan's Premier, Scott Moe, as he was stopping to talk to reporters ahead of, again, that meeting with premiers and Mr. Justin Trudeau. We will get into a little bit more of what we heard from premiers. I do want to bring our viewers into also a statement that we've seen from the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, ahead of this meeting. In a tweet he has said, or in a post on X, he said that I'm meeting with the premiers in Ottawa today. None of us wants to see tariffs erode a successful partnership between Canada and the United States, but we will be ready with a strong national response if we need one. So that message coming from the Prime Minister just a few minutes ago, ahead of course, this.
Go outside.
I do want to bring in the CBC.
Do you want to go outside? Come here.
Listening in. You know, it's interesting because reading the Prime Minister's statement there and hearing it and contrasting what we heard from
Go outside. Go outside. Go home. Go home.